As you may have guessed by the title, yes, I'm talking about the spear. Can you do me a favor and remember when was the last time you died from a spear? Probably just yesterday, an hour ago, or you're watching this after getting destroyed by a spear on your GVG. That is because top competitive guilds have strayed away from the Korean meta of flash waves and now are running shadow dancers as their main source of DPS. That is why today I'm gonna yap about my experiences getting slapped every day by a spear user and how we can fix the problem. Since the release of Spear, they have been a menace on every player versus player events that I take a part in. As a glass cannon, a bow and staff user, I know that my class is easy to get killed for a trade-off of having the highest damage out of all the classes. This is all true until the Spear got released. We were supposed to be the highest damage dealer in the game if we stayed alive and cycled all of our skills with the right positioning and right timing on when we should show ourselves to maximize our damage output. But what about spears? All they do is go invisible, smokescreen, and then throw their spear straight into my face. It doesn't matter if I stacked 3 healing touches on myself plus nature blessings. That spear is going to break through it like I'm made of paper. I don't even have to be the target. I could be minding my own business trying to get a good position for my flash wave, and then all of a sudden the person beside me is getting speared to death, and guess who's dying with him? Yes, me getting electrocuted, catching strays while I run and try to survive. I know you're thinking that I'm not one to talk because flash waves was the overpowered skill before Spear came out. But for that I say, it is not as overpowered as you think. Personally, my flash waves, if I'm lucky, could deal 7,000 damage, and if by some miracle I get a heavy attack to boost that damage, then yes, you could get one shot. But that is if I get astronomically lucky. My average damage is just around 3,000 to 4,000 damage. As you can see, I won't be able to kill a whole clump alone unless I try to burst them with all my skills while your healer is not healing because they're on a PS5. That, or my whole alliance uses flash wave with me. But a spear alone could go to the backline, be invisible, and then suddenly, surprise, I'm putting my spear in you, penetrating you. After that, I'll be flying into the air and then dropping a fear on your whole alliance. What makes this worse is you can't even use your Purification stone to remove the debuff, while the sleep of a wand user is easily purified. Where's the logic there? Let me explain it in a real-world event. Imagine you're in a boxing match, and you have a Purification stone just like in the game. The fight starts, and your enemy is much bigger than you. You try to fight with your gamer Discord mod build, but you get punched in the face and get knocked out, falling asleep. To counter this, you need to pull out and click your Purification stone. The question is, how are you going to do that when you're already sleeping in the ground? In the game, you could use it while sleeping, so does it automatically just happen in their world once you click it? Then why does it not happen when you're in fear? I mean, again, on our previous example, on a boxing match, this time you want to remove the fear you feel because the opponent is much bigger than you. So you pull out your Purification stone and use it to hopefully have a better chance if you're calm. Long story short, a sleeping person can use the stone, while an awake, feared person cannot. I hope that you're getting the point of this whole story here. Every day I feel harassed because every conflict I'm always dying to a spear targeting me. You could argue that Scorpions have the same gameplay as them, and you don't see players complaining. For that I say, I'm literally the hard counter to that class. Every guild has at least 10 bows, and if by some unlucky chance that X-bow dagger jumps on my face, I'm just gonna click my Q, and a tornado would immediately be coming to get that X-bow, and that dude won't be able to do anything because all a crossbow dagger has is their spin. But if you put a spear user in the air, as soon as that mother clucker comes down, it's on sight, and you should be running for your life because that man still has a lot of skills that could one-shot your whole backline. I know that you could counter spear by positioning yourself out of a clump, but surprise, a GS is now dashing to your face and putting you in the ground, ready to eat their big fat sword, sending you back to Vienta village. So maybe we should just build melee evasion against it. Yeah, that's an option if you have an endless bank account like Shroud. But for us bottom feeders, we would rather wait for Tier 2 to get released and endure taking a spear on the face than spend all the lucent that I saved in my piggy bank. Also, building full melee evasion could sacrifice a stat that is maybe essential to your build right now, such as magic evasion, range evasion, or your damage. now that it's understood how OP Spear is. How do we fix it? Honestly, just nerf the overall damage of that spear throw. I haven't really used Spear, so I don't really know their whole kit that much. Also, I don't use it because I'm not a virgin. Okay, I still have my V card, but at least I'm not holding a spear. Everyone in our alliance has been feeling this way about the spear, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. So why is Amazon Games not doing anything about it? My best guess is that they released the spear stats adjusted to best fit tier 2, and maybe, and this is a hard maybe they were hoping that the spear would become balanced once tier 2 comes because of all the new gears and builds. But still, if this was the case, it is a very bad decision because when the spear was first released, it still took months before tier 2 was announced, and we've been getting all this hard whooping for a long time now. That's why I decided to make this video. Another reason is maybe they just went and said, "Fuck everyone else, Spear is my favorite child. Now go kill everyone else." While everyone is waiting on the announcement of Talandre on the last Tico talks, I was waiting for Tico to have the word Spear come out of his mouth. But sadly, there was nothing. While everyone was angry because of 1 month with no content, I was angry because this is another week of suffering for all the backliners. I've thought about transferring to Spear myself, but then I remembered that I was poor. So leave a like and subscribe so you could help me get rich and experiment on builds that I could share with all of you. At first I was thinking that Spear was only overpowered because it was newly released, and they needed to get people to feel that the switch and grind for levels was worth it. The last nerf that I heard about the Spear was about the unyielding sentinel specialization called Enforcer, where instead of the current hit chance that it gave to your character, it would give you heavy hit chance. Don't get me wrong, this was a good nerf, but I don't think that it was enough because it feels like nothing has changed even after that nerf. Some could even argue that changing it to hit chance was probably a silent buff to the Spear, because if some players want to counter it with melee evasion, they would have to fully commit to it or it would all be meaningless. Because if a hit chance is higher than your evasion, then you would 100% get hit by any attack that your enemy does to you. What about you? What do you think is the reason why Spear is still not nerfed? Honestly, I really feel like they're turning a blind eye to a problem that has already been in the game for so long. It is also a possibility that they're not aware of the problem, so sharing this video with your friends may boost the views and hopefully reach the development team of Amazon Games. This video is not meant to paint the Amazon Games development team of Throne and Liberty in a dark light, though it may feel like it because of all that ranting. I just feel like a content creator should voice out the concern that they see in the community and see how they react so that the development team would have an idea if it's really a problem or not. So leaving a comment on this kind of video is really helpful not only to me but also to the development team as well. Also, if you disagree with this video, then you're probably a Spear user. Just kidding. I think that's enough yapping for me, so with that, I'll see you in my next video.